the Arua City Teachers. And then surprisingly, Arua City Teachers were, of course, eliminated, I should say, on penalty shootouts in there. But then for the full time, it did end on a 1-1. And then somehow on Sunday, we also were there, and we did see, of course, another entertaining and very thrilling, mouth-watering, I should say, finals in there. Where the Buganda community went up head-on-head with there is the Heritage Hotels, but of course things did work out well for there is a Buganda community, and we did see them pick in there is the second position in there. Heritage Hotels did emerge the champions over this very encounter in there, which of course did start in there is June 6th, and that and a couple of more stories will be coming through from right about now up to there is 3 p.m. and in some of the headlines, of course, the Royals, we are talking about the Chitara Football Club that definitely will be taking part in there is the CAF Confederations have already landed, and they did not find any stadium to borrow, I should say, within Uganda, whichever it is that they seek for permission to. The replies, I should say, didn't come in quite quick at hand, and they did travel in there to see that they get to host Al Hilal Benghazi in the CAF Confederations down in the Al Hilal that comes from Libya, that they will be hosting them down the other side. This and more of the stories that definitely would be coming through, and we're definitely starting with the story of Chitara not hosting in their game in Uganda, in that I should say they have a couple of names, of course, that will be available for selection in there, and some of the names that definitely will be available for selection include Benjamin Nyakojo, could be fit to face there is El Hilal Benghazi in the CAF Confederation Cup after making the 20-man squad to there is Libya in there. The big centre-back was hurt in the 1-0 defeat to there is Bull in the FIFA Super 8 semi-finals after a head collision in there with Ibrahim Orit, and had to be stretchered into the waiting ambulance on there is Saturday. And I think from that time around up to now, this has quite been like a week or two in that the lad could have gotten immediate there is immediate health emergency treat there. Nyakojo partnered new signing Ronald Oti in there is the first half, and the duo travels to Libya alongside Arthur Chigundu, Jasper Hebo, Captain Maxwell Wachgiu amongst defensive options for Brian Senyondo's side. They already did check in. There is August 12th. That was when, of course, they left for this very first encounter over CAF Confederations Cup. Besides Douglas Oiroth and Ivan Serubiri, who started the game against Bull, all new signings are part of the team that left for Libya via Cairo, Egypt on Monday yesterday. And we can confirm to you as a Whistle Time Desk at West Nile TV that the duo did reach in very well to touch the soils the other side, like I had said, to hosting there is the first game in the CAF Confederations Cup. Marvin Nyanzi, David Ndihabwe, Taita Sematimba, Freda Mako, and all did travel to this very game. The surprise inclusive is goalkeeper Jamil Chiimba, who was key in the Uganda Cup triumph and also kept goal on Saturday. He did, of course, maintain a very clean sheet, and he is also part of the squad. You know, a CAF Confederation Cup is one game that, of course, is very thrilling, yes, very entertaining, yes, but then it is one hard game, yeah, because these are teams that play international football. These are teams that don't take part in your own Ugandan league. So basically, I should say these are international teams that, of course, do not only participate in their countries' tournaments. In the talk about El Hilal, they take part in a couple of tournaments in there, and in most cases they get to win. So this time around, I don't know the fate of our own. There is a Chitara in this very, very clash in here. And of course, recently over the weekend, we did see El Hilal, of course, winning in another cup in there to their names. And of course, if you look at their players, they are quite very, very hardworking, interesting, and international players. The Chitara are set to spend a fortnight in Libya, where they play both legs after opting to host their game in Benghazi after they were informed of an availability over Nambole. The first leg will be played this Friday, and today is already a Tuesday, August 16th, and the reverse fixture a week later in there. And of course, the squad that has been able to make it to Libya include a couple of players in there. And there is a squad that, of course, is traveling to there is a full squad that, of course, gets to travel to Libya, and this squad definitely will be able to give you that name in there. Then I also want to move away from football and discuss motorsport. Yeah, motorsport involves it involves a sport that, of course, racing a car is involved in. And of course, these are very, very rare. Motorsport is quite very rare. Even in Uganda, it's not so common in that. Basically, we don't, I think, have it in West Nile because it involves a certain areas that qualify to making these people run in there for these different races that they get to take part in. Basically, for us in West Nile, we don't have rifts, hilly places and all that, because if you look at the routes that these people normally take, it involves curvy places, it involves hilly places and slopy places, which definitely we don't have them in here. So basically, Fort Portal is one side that definitely has all the above features that I have mentioned in there. So if you look at motorsport, yeah, it's very active in Fort Portal. And the other side, Mustafa Mukasa ascends to NRC lead with Fort Portal Rally podium in there. Mustafa Mukasa is now the new national. The NRC that I did mention as an abbreviation stands for National Rally Championship Leader. The Drugs Express sponsored crew in the Mitsubishi Evo 9 pulled through from leg one misfortunes to secure another podium in the weekend's Fort Portal Rally in there. The crew suffered a broken shock coupled with the gearbox failure in the morning loop. As if that was not enough, they narrowly, of course, survived the moment in the last hairpin of the power stage that could have ended it all for them. But those all mischiefs, of course, did not hinder them definitely from winning in and becoming in the new national race championship in there. They finished third. And with it, the top spot owner, there is the NRC leaderboard with 224 points, 21 points more than second place Ronald Sebuguzi in there. And but they said that they are happy. Of course, the entire crew were interviewed, and they did have an exclusive where they did say they are happy with the results. They had a tough day in the first leg. They lost a bit of time and went down on standings. Yeah, Sunday has been better. Remember, these competitions, of course, went down and they were concluded on Sunday. And they did say on Sunday they did have a very good day. And they thank God for that, because they are still in the contention to maintain their lead on the championship. That is said by their president, Mukasa. Mukasa's seasonal target was to finish as many events as he could. However, with the trend pointing to a clear opportunity for the title, Mukasa plans to stay on top till the season ends. I don't know how this is going to be. I don't know how possible this is going to be, because basically there are a lot of races that always training very hard to see that when these motor race events come up, they take the lead in there. The earlier strategy remains still at the end of the season, but with the current standings, we will obviously have the title in mind. We will be watching every move we make going forward. By God's grace, we shall get there, added Mukasa. And he also said that the crew must target a top 2 finish in the remaining 2 events, as well as capitalizing on the power stage points to actualize their championship dream. The 6th round of the National Racing Championship heads to Gulu, a district, on the weekend of 11th to there is 13th October. And we're already in August, which means that we have one more month to go in there before this heads to Gulu. And I am very impressed that these days the motorsport is very rotational. Initially, we used to only see it within central and western end there. But this time around, if it also gets to come down to there is Gulu, the northern, and then I think Gulu will be the first to represent the whole of entire northern region in there. And the 6th, just like I had said, the 6th round heads to Gulu in October. The top 3 driver standings after round 5, Mustafa Mukasa stands, of course, first there after accumulating 224 points. And then Ronald Sebuguzi stands in second position after accumulating there is 203 points, and then lastly with 200 points we have Jasa Magnata in there. And of course that is quite very interesting for Mustafa Mukasa, who of course definitely gets to take in the lead in there for that very, very interesting motorsport. And remember, motorsport, by the way, motorsport is quite very rare, just like I had said. And then after motorsport, I want us to also look at golf in there. And of course, Nsubuga, who has been a very remarkable name in the journey of golf, eyes a remarkable debut at 2024 U.S. Amateur Golf Championship in there. Godfrey Nsubuga's story will serve as an inspiration, of course, to hundreds of Ugandan golfers. There is, if you are a lover of golf in Uganda, but in most cases, we find that those that are indulged in golf are very few people, of course, with a corporate age group, yeah, or I should say with the corporate age bracket. You don't find a lot of youth in golfing. You don't find a lot of people that, of course, get to indulge in golf in there. And those days, for me, as Susie, I used to think that golf is for the elderly, because my dad was a golfer. He used to play golf. So I thought specifically, those days when he used to play golf, he would carry me along, and we go for those golfing tournaments in there and all that. So for me, I had a thought in my head that golf was for elderly people, because, man, if you look at my dad and his age during the time he was playing golf, and the people that used to play golf those days when we were growing up, you would completely be convinced that golf was for elderly people, yeah? But then over time, that thought, I think, did have to change in there, where, of course, these days we see a lot of people indulging in golf. Look at the likes of the Peace, look at Peace Comfort, who I should say is in my age group, and then also we have Ambro Onzima, who is also in my age group. So basically, I think the mentality is now changing in there. So this time around, I want us to also give another time to look at golf. The reigning Uganda Amateur Golf Open champion, there is Godfrey Nsubuga, will make history as the first Ugandan to compete at there is the prestigious U.S. Amateur Golf Championship in there. And this Thursday, today is already Tuesday, 15th August 2024, Nsubuga will play during the 124th U.S. Amateur Championship at Hazelton National Golf Club in Chaska, Minnesota in there. And Nsubuga will tee off as one of the 312 players who will play one round at there is Hazelton and Chaska Town Course, after which the field will be trimmed to 64 for match play. He has been drawn to tee off alongside Americans. There is Brett Podobinski and Eric Lee in there. So this time around, we literally have a Ugandan that will be going to represent the flag in there is the US Open in there. The champion and runner-up will both receive exemptions into the 2025 US Open Oakmont, as well as likely invitations to the Masters tournament that will take place in April next year, 2025. The winner also gets a spot at the 2025 Open Championship at Royal Portrush in there. Born and of course bred at Meta Club in Lugazi, Subuga is a former caddy who has risen along the ranks so fast due to, of course, hard work and taking part in a couple of tournaments and doing in a lot of trainings in there. He's joining Winston-Salem State University in North Carolina and will make more history by becoming the first golfer from there is Uganda to qualify for there is the US event in there. He says his target is to play good golf. He also wants to have fun and hopefully making the cut to emerge amongst the best winners in there. After the US Amateur Champions, he also will be flying back home to Uganda to defend his title in there. I don't know how this will be possible for him because now for the fact that he gets to travel out there, of course, a couple of people that definitely will want to emulate him, a couple of people who will want to take in his position in there. Other rated amateurs taking part will be John Daly, a son of two-time major champion John Daly Jackson, Gordon Sargent, and of course Evan Thompson. Competing at that level will mark a remarkable meteoric rise for a golfer whose immeasurable talent is befitting over there is the platform he is playing on today. Subuga's story, of course, just like I had said, gets to, of course, inspire in a lot of Ugandans, and making history is quite a very good one because this time around he will be the first golfer. And I also think that our golfers in Arua can actually also borrow a leaf from his travel to represent there is the Ugandan flag in there is the US Open in there. And of course, before we go in for halftime, there is a full list of Chitara players, just like I had said, that of course had to travel for their very first clash against El Hilal Benghazi. And this squad includes players include Kusima Crispas, Yahweh Farouk, Dennis Omedi, Brian Hebwa, Jude Semugabi, Frank Tumwesiga, George Senkaba, Fred Marco, Titus Sematimba. We have Titus Sematimba, Marvin Nyanzi, Solomon Okwalinga, Muber Eric, Ndihabwe David, Paddy Muumuza, Ronald Utai, Maxwell Owachgiu, Jasper Hebwa, Arthur Chigundu, Gabon Living, and Benjamin Nyakojo. In there are some of the names that, of course, did travel that you'll be seeing in the squad of Chitara that, of course, will be taking Al Hilal Benghazi. They have 2 weeks to stay in there, and they also did travel with a couple of a technical team there with the club president did, of course, go with them, Deo Kasozi, and then some of the technical staff that did travel include Brian Senyondo, Vale David, Hamza Mwonge, Issa Serwanja, Sharon Acheng. And then also, the team doctor is Eno Kayondo, media officer Sandra Awori, and team officials include the club CEO Joshua Atugonza, and of course the head of delegation that is of course in the names of Joshua Issa Magola Kakaira in there. Those in the names that definitely you will be seeing play against our own Ugandan. There is Muhammad Shaban in there, and of course some of the stories include Okello sets up Vipers in there is the Super 8 finals where of course Vipers will be taking on Bula in there. Alan Okello did, of course, help his side emerge in the winners after they did beat the Cranes select side 1-0. Meanwhile, for the KCCA Maroons, we did see them play a 0-0 draw where KCCA did beat them 4-2 on penalties in there. Alan Okello scored in additional time to earn Vipers a deserved one win over Uganda Cranes select side in there is the semi-final of the FUFA Super 8 at MTN Omondi Stadium in Lugogo. The ex-KCC attacker got the winner off a Milton Carissa layoff in the first minute of there is additional time. The midfielder had tried to beat Bashir Sekaja on several occasions, but the Wachiso Jazz goalkeeper was up to the task until then. Vipers will now meet holders Bull in the final on August 31st at the same venue. In the classification match, there is for third position. We did see KCCA take it up on Maroons, the Luzira-based side, and this very game ended on a 0-0 in there. But since there had to be, of course, a winner, they definitely would take in third position after the select team got themselves in there. They were eliminated in the semi-finals by there is a Vipers. The game, the classification game, of course, I did go into penalty shootouts where, of course, KCCA did beat Maroons on a 4-2 there. Mustafa Mujuzi was sent off for Abdallah Muberu's side in there is the first half, but they still fathomed the better chances in the game, but were lethargic in there in this very encounter. In the shootout, Bright Anukani, Joel Serujonji, Ibrahim Juba, and Philbert Obenchan made no mistakes as Junction Nunda and Brian Omirambe missed out on their chances to get their balls over the penalty shootouts behind the net of the goalkeeper of the opponent. KCCA will now play a neck in the battle for 5th or 6th, while Maroons will take on Villa for 7th and 8th position on there is August 30th in there. And of course, Vipers also gets in another story. Vipers also gets in another story where, of course, they win in the FUFA Junior Elite League in there. These finals did see Vipers junior team play. There is a KCCA Soccer Academy. They did beat them 4-0. And for third place, we did see Bright Stars beating there is a Bull junior team 4-1. 3-0 where they also did play with Vipers, and we did see Vipers winning in this very game. There is for the Elite in. We are crossing in for a very short commercial break. We shall return to continue with more of the stories.